Hey everybody, it is a big day here at the ski resort. We're so excited. We got a new piece of equipment and I'm going to try it out today and drive it for the very first time, and hopefully I can figure it out. There's a few generations of Prinoth cats up here. This is one of the originals that I drove when I first started working here 20 years ago. Now it's just used to plow the parking lot, and we keep it close to the shop and close to the tools. It has over 13,000 hours on it. Then we got this one a couple years later, MP 275, and I probably have spent most of my time driving this one. As you can see, the controls are old school, the same as that the older cat, but I knew these controls like the back of my hand. But now this one just kind of sits here, kind of third string. If all the rest of the cats break down, everything still works on it. It's just old and kind of slow. Then we got this one, the BR350. I don't know how long we've had this one, but man, we were so excited when we got this. Felt like it had a lot of power. The controls are way different. It took a long time to get used to, but this has been a good cat for a long time. Then we got this one, another BR350. It didn't have very many hours on it when we got it, and it's kind of been the main cat for several years now. Good machine, and I've had a lot of seat time in this one. We got this one, another BR350 with the Sherpa winch on it. I love this one, especially when it snows a lot. This has made a big difference on the mountain. So you could only imagine my excitement when I came to work today and I saw this in the parking lot. It's time for new generation. So this is the Bison S. Now this one is just a demo, but talk is by next year we're gonna have one of these as part of our fleet. So super excited. I can't wait to jump in and figure out the new controls. So you might be wondering, why so many Prinoths? Well, that hasn't been the case. There's been one other cat in this lineup. It was a Pistenbully. It's a Pistenbully 400. It's a 2006, I believe. And we had it here for a few years. Why did we get rid of it? Well, there was two problems with it that we just didn't agree with on this mountain. One of them was it had a steering wheel. Now I know some of you guys drive ones with steering wheels and love them. We never could get used to that on this mountain. It's before we had the winch cat, and there's some steep runs and it would slide, and with the steering wheel it was scary. The other problem that made it scary is the aluminum tracks. When it got in a slide with that steering wheel aluminum tracks, man, you didn't know where you're going to end up. So honestly, for a long time, whenever it snowed, we just parked it. And this one, we had another one just like it that everybody loved, and we drove that until it had 18,000 hours on it, and it finally died. So, you know, I have experienced Pistenbully. A great cat, comfortable. I love the controls. It was just not the right cat for this mountain. So a couple first impressions. One thing I really like, the location of the fuel fill. No more climbing across the tracks to try to get into it. That's handy. So I like that feature. I'm still trying to figure out all these buttons here. looks like I push this one and this one at the same time. There we go. Yeah, it moves the snow chamber. And okay, got that figured out. I'll tell you one thing I'm not sure I really love. So far, I'm sure I'll get used to it. I don't like how close these two sticks are. And the other ones, I always have them adjusted so they're a little bit further apart. But there is no adjustment on these, and so I guess I'll just have to get used to that. So that's maybe one negative so far. And then I like the joystick. The buttons are a lot different, and I'm gonna have to get used to that. So I made it up here to the top. Is the joystick this one? Well, first of all, I love how fast the blade moves. Like, that's awesome. But when I go to move this little joystick here, I always want to move like straight back and forth this way. That's what my brain's doing, but you can't do that. You have to move it like up and like on an angle. My brain is saying it's an angle, but I'll probably get used to that. But I'm always wanting to go like straight up and straight down, and you can't do that. So I'll have to retrain my thinking. The two Dumbo ears, really handy. These two switches, I feel like they're a little bit stiff. You know, you have to put a little force into it to move them. But I like how you can move both of them at the same time with your hand on the joystick here too. So that's handy. One gauge I think that's missing that I'd like to see on here is the snow chamber. How much snow you're recirculating. That would be nice to have that feature on there too. But so far, feels like it has good power, and I'm really liking it. One other thing I'm not sure about, maybe some of you guys can comment, let me know. Not sure where to run the RPM, the ideal. I can see, you know, there's a range right there where it should be good, but what do you guys think? 1500? Is that a good one, or do you run it all the way up to 16? Yeah, let me know what you think is the most efficient. I'm on some pretty steep hills, not much flat, either up or down all the time, but we're going to try it right here for starters, see what happens. Chipmunks are coming out. Springtime. I did notice this though when I was looking around. It's on the muffler here. I'm not sure what to do with it. Maybe somebody can tell me in the comments what that's for and when to do it. I do like all the lights on it. Some different locations than the BR. I'll be anxious to see how it lights things up the darker it gets. So that's another positive feature. One thing I don't really like so far is the climate control. Unless I'm doing it wrong, but it seems like there's a lot of navigation in the screen just to turn the fan down, which I don't know, seems kind of, I don't like. Plus, man, the heat in this thing, does it ever shut off? I feel these vents here, and that's hot. And I have it turned down low. I think that's what that means. I don't want that. What do I do here? Turn on the air conditioner. Doesn't seem to work. I don't know, not a big fan of that so far. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but the cat sure is nice to drive. I love this center console. full tank of fuel through it. There's a couple things that stand out, things I really like and things that I don't like. So I'm going to start with, I already mentioned this, but yeah, this cab climate control I really don't like at all. So, you know, Prinoth, why not just put a dial and a button right here that you can easily turn up and down instead of navigating through that? I don't like that. It did go through the fuel pretty fast. The DEF on one tank of fuel, it wasn't quite all the way full, and now it's just above half. So that's, I don't know, I'm not sure how big the DEF tank is, and in my opinion that's too much. Power was good, more power than the BR for sure, and so I did like that feature. One other annoying thing is the mirror, and this is something we can fix, but every time you shut the door, the mirrors want to move. So I think there's a way we can tighten that, but that was a little bit annoying. But yeah, that climate control, and it's so hot in this cab. I've had this little skylight, had it open all night, and just to give you an idea, the temperature, it's 26 degrees here at the base, but up top it was 19, and I was still roasting in here. The buttons on the joystick, I actually got used to them a lot faster than I thought I would. A couple of times, you know, this one here shifts the tiller from side to side. A couple of times I hit this one on accident to shift the tiller, but by and large, you know, I feel like I got used to it pretty quick. I love these two for the Dumbo ears. Again, I love the center console. I think the visibility is way better. The seat is really comfortable. You know, so a lot of good things. By and large, great machine. Looking forward to a good future with one of these.